As we speak, the president is visiting the Capitol, where the body of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, former Supreme Court Justice, lies in state outside because of COVID-19. I guess they want to make sure she doesn't catch COVID-19. That's somewhat of a joke. But what isn't a joke is that this woman was not the icon that she was portrayed to be. She sat on cases with corporations where her husband owned shares of stock. She disparaged the president of the United States, which is contrary to the Code of Judicial Conduct for federal judges. Of course, our loser Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts says it doesn't really apply to justices of the Supreme Court. The president's making an obligatory visit. Certainly, she deserves some respect in death, but she doesn't deserve to be made into a god or an icon. And I trust that the president's appointment that will come shortly this Friday will come up with a better example for a justice of the Supreme Court than Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who frankly was a very bad example of what a justice should be. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a fact. The fact that someone dies does not turn them into an icon. And we must keep that in mind. And I'll tell you another piece of hypocrisy that's out there. And this is critical towards the president. This criticism of China, this threatening China with military might, that's fine, okay? But we want, as I said the other day, actions and not words. The job report today is very bad. More unemployment on the horizon. There's no end in sight to COVID-19. It's clear that the Communist Chinese have significantly harmed not just the economy of the United States, but our health. And ask yourself this fundamental question. What's the problem of our worthless Attorney General, Blowhard Bill Barr, or Puxatani Bill, as I call him, because he's like a groundhog, putting his head in the sand, or in a hole, rather, hiding under his desk, I guess that's the equivalent of his hole, in bringing a lawsuit to compensate Americans for the damage that's been caused by Communist China with COVID-19. We now have 3 experts in our cases in Dallas, Texas, in Jerusalem, Israel, and there are more out there who will say that this was a bioweapon. It was engineered by the Communist Chinese. And then we have our Anthony Fauci, who, according to my client, Judy Mikovits, actually sent the seeds of COVID-19 over to the Communist Chinese with a grant from the worst president in my lifetime, Barack Obama, to do research because it couldn't legally be done here. The Chinese took that. They turned it into a bioweapon. It has destroyed the United States in large part. It's destroyed the rest of the world. But no one takes any action against the Communist Chinese. All they do, in particular in this country, is talk, including those on Fox News and elsewhere. The president needs to step up to the plate. He needs to join our class action in Dallas, Texas. He should instruct his attorney general to do that. He should be filing criminal cases against the Chinese, not just barring them from coming to this country. That's ridiculous. They don't care whether they want to come to this country or not, Chinese officials. But now's the time to be real. The American people need to see through what's going on. And while I support the president personally, I don't endorse him as the head of a public interest group, and I will vote for him, particularly given the fact that Joe Biden and his son are simply criminals. Report came out where they were laundering money from the Ukraine and China, huge amounts of money, apparently, according to some allegations, engaging in sex trafficking as well. There's no option here. But the president needs to be the president. And he needs to be the president as well with the violence in the streets. It's not enough to say to governors and local mayors, you do it, I'm going to watch because it helps my reelection chances in November. Obviously, people are upset. They want to protect their families. And that is a big political aspect of the president's reelection right now, particularly with COVID-19 not going very well. So this is something that needs to be said, and no one will say it. I am not a groupie like Sean Hannity. Okay, I'm not a groupie to Michael Cohen. Hannity was a groupie for him. You can read Cohen's book. There are parts of it, frankly, that are believable. And you can read other things out there. It's not a time to be a cheerleader, no more than it's a time to pretend that Supreme Court justices were icons when in fact they were pretty sleazy. So this is my message for today, is that join Freedom Watch's Justice League. Join americassheriff.org, which is meant to protect our police and to bring hard-hitting cases. americassheriff.org with Sheriff Joe Arpaio, my partner in that endeavor as well. Both public interest groups, and support us because we are your Justice Department. Our government plays games. They play patty cakes. And I'll tell you something, no matter who is nominated as a Supreme Court justice and who may be confirmed, and that's not certain at this point. This may be an election strategy by Mitch McConnell to put the Democrats behind the eight ball, knowing that she won't be confirmed, whoever it may be that's picked. But the fact is the American people need to rise up. And that's why I want you to pre-order my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. You can buy it at Amazon.com and other major booksellers. Pre-order it. It's coming out October 27th, but copies will be scarce. So go ahead and pre-order it now. It's going to be in hot demand because it says something that no one else will say. It says the cure-all, the panacea, is not going to be the election of Donald Trump, even though it'll be far better than Joe Biden. Fact is, he's only going to be there for 4 years. The Democrats are taking control. The ultra-left is taking control. If they can't do it legally, they're going to do it illegally with election fraud and with other things. And you can bet there's going to be massive election fraud. And we're going to have to step in there, Freedom Watch, as I did at Judicial Watch, in that too, in the public interest, as we did with Bush v. Gore. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, purchase a pre-ordered copy of my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. Rise up. Be your own man and be your own woman. Be patriots. Act like our colonialists did, our founding fathers. Take matters into your own peaceful and legal hands before it's too late. That's my message for today. Read what I have to say, and it takes a revolution. Forget the scandal industry. And take it to heart. It's meant to start a dialogue. It's meant to educate. It's meant to tell the American people that we hold our own fate. And we have to act now with the grace of God. Be safe, be well protected, because the violent revolution of the left is coming. We're already in progress of that. You can see 2 police officers shot yesterday in Louisville, Kentucky. And use your Second Amendment rights, arm yourself. Don't be offensive, don't start it, but be prepared to defend you and your family using your Second Amendment and other rights. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast, A Special Prosecutor with Larry Klayman. Until then, thank you for listening to me.